everyone, and welcome back to another video on Irish Footy Vlogs. You're very welcome to the Irish Premier Division show, preview show. We're going to run through the Premier Division games, and we're also real quickly just going to start off by talking about the Shamrock Rovers game, playing in the Europa League playoff. It's such a big game for them, JP. Looking ahead to this one, I'm just having a little research here on Ferencvaros. They're top of the Hungarian league after 2 games. I think they're champions as well of it as well. They were in the Europa League last year in Celtic's group, actually. I think they were beaten twice by Celtic, but they actually bet Celtic 2 years ago in the Champions League, in the qualifiers last 2 years ago. So, look, I think Rovers are in for a really tough game.
Oh, they are there's no doubt about that. They're an established team in European terms, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be tough for Shamrock Rovers, but look, as we've seen already in this year and last year, our teams in Europe have gone in and they've outperformed their expectations. Like, you only have to look at Pats in the Conference League second round. They put out the team that was in Spurs' group last year. So, look, there's absolutely no reason why Shamrock Rovers over 2 legs can't get a result against Ferencvaros and find themselves in the Europa League group stages rather than the Conference League. But one thing that they'll want to do is they'll want to give themselves a chance coming the game in Tallaght, because I think when they went to Ludogorets in the Champions League, that third goal, the lit third goal, was the absolute killer for them. So the main thing for them is that they'll want to come back to Tallaght this time around with the tie very much in the balance. And if they do, then I have absolutely every confidence in them that they can get over the line and get themselves into the Europa League groups rather than the Europa Conference League groups.
Yeah, I'm just looking here as well, their stadium. It's the Groupama Arena in Budapest in Hungary. They have a capacity of 23,000, I think it is, 698. So, they're going to be playing in a big stadium as well, a big setting for Shamrock Rovers. But it's the sort of venue in that they'll be wanting to play in,
Aye, it's the venues that you thrive off. This is what our teams are fighting for from March to November. This is what we're fighting to get into Europe, so we can potentially get to these type of venues, because unless we reach the FAI Cup final, we don't get the opportunity to play in venues like this.
Yeah.
And for Shamrock Rovers, they're the benchmark of Irish football. They're in Europe and they're pretty much the underdogs, and this is where they can show that they can mix it with the likes of these teams. And as a footballer, it's what you play football for. You want to play at the highest level you possibly can. For our league, that is in Europe. It's these type of venues. Our league are probably never going to be playing in the Champions League. I don't think we're ever going to be going to the Bernabeu or Anfield or Old Trafford or anywhere like that. So, absolutely, Shamrock Rovers have the potential to be that sort of team at what Ferencvaros are. And their facilities that Rovers have in Ireland far outweigh whatever our team has, and they'll be relishing playing in front of these. But the main thing is that when they get out there, they want to be leaving themselves with a chance in Tallaght, because Tallaght, as we saw so far in Europe this season, has been very well for Rovers, and if they can get back to Tallaght with the game in the balance, and I fancy them to get through the tie.
Yeah, I think it's important that they go over and get a result and still be in the tie coming over then to Tallaght for the second leg. So what are you going to go for?
I don't think they'll win out there. I think they might lose 2-0, 2-1. I hope they do get a positive result out there. I hope they do. I really do. But I think they'll lose this one 2-1, because I think they'll have learned lessons from the Ludogorets game.
Yeah.
Where the first half they didn't really play well. And they left themselves an uphill task in the second half, which they dealt with until the very last kick of the game. I think they will have learned from that. They'll probably start better this time around. I think they'll just come up short in a way. I'm going to say 2-1 to the Hungarians.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Hungarians, sorry. Hungarian, sorry.
Hungarians, yeah. I'll go something similar. I'll go 1-0 to Ferencvaros. But you know, I think they'll be pleased. Like obviously they'll want to get a result, but they'll be pleased if they can still be in the tie and see what they can do for the second leg. So yeah, we'll kick it off anyways. The preview show for the Premier Division. I think it's a full list of fixtures as well, JP, this week. So that's a good thing. I'm going to kick it off. For Friday evening, we are heading to Game Park, Drogheda United, Derry City. I think it's right if we kick it off with that one. Obviously, you're Derry, I'm Drogheda, so I'll get your thoughts on this game. Obviously, you know yourself, you came down and you got a 1-1 draw. Probably could have won that game, Derry. What are you thinking?
Well, the last game down there, we got an early goal through Joe Thompson and didn't build on it, and we conceded a very sloppy equaliser. And it was disappointing because the second half we really had these penned in, but your goalkeeper at the time was unbelievable that night. We've hit the post and all as well, so it was a really positive performance down there. We didn't get the result we wanted, but we didn't come away with a defeat, which was the worst thing we could have possibly done after the performance that we put in. We had an okay draw against us in the Brandywell. I was not that game myself, but I know that we played well in the first half, didn't build on it in the second half, and Drogheda came in a bit more in the final half an hour of the game and got a point. Again, it's going to be tough. Heading the Game Park has always been a tough venue for Derry. Throughout the year, my time following Derry City, I've never known it to be an easy venue for us to go to and pick up points. I think we'll be confident going into this, having put in a really excellent display against Rovers, especially in the second half. I think we need to use that second half as the benchmark for the rest of our season. Drogheda coming in there off the back of a fantastic one against Shelbourne. It'll be tough for Derry in this game. I would like to say that we're going to go down and win it. I'm just not confident because of. I think we've definitely the ability to do it absolutely, but I think Drogheda are a hard team to come up against, especially at home, and this could be a really tricky one for us. I think this could be another 1-1 draw. Look, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be it's an interesting game. Like, so, you know, obviously, both teams are coming off the back of decent results. Obviously, I think Derry will be disappointed that they didn't, get 3 points against Rovers. But, for myself, I'd be thinking like for Drogheda, I think it's one of them ones. I think you've got to stay in the game for as long as possible. Maybe try and get an early goal, like what we've done to Dundalk, and hold on and even push on. But yeah, it's a very tough game. I think as well, like it's worth noting that the signings that Derry have made and how an impact they've had in the squad coming in the last few weeks has been very impressive. So, the Derry seem to be a team that's only going to get stronger and keeps getting stronger. So it's a very tough game to call. I think 2 draws this season. I don't know. I'm going to follow it. I'm going to say 2-2.
Yeah, and the other game was obviously early in the season where we won 2-0, and it wasn't easy at night either because we got I think we got an early goal in that game and we didn't get the second goal they let on. So Drogheda have made it 3 difficult games for us. I think the last 2 weeks Derry have had good opportunities to close the gap on Dundalk and Rovers and have missed that chance. But it so happens they have to be that Derry are now playing Drogheda this week, and them 2 teams are playing one another, and they're not playing this Sunday. So this is a third opportunity in a row that Derry have now to close the gap on them 2 teams, put a wee bit of pressure on them, and I don't think they can pass the opportunity up. I think they need to go and win this game. But as I say, I'm just not confident that we will go and win it because I do think we have the players to, but I just think Drogheda are going to make it difficult. And I'm going to agree with you. I think it's going to be a score draw.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's right now to move on because we've got a big Dublin derby. It's the North Dublin derby between Shelbourne and Bohemians. It's a big game. Like it's one that the atmosphere is always unbelievable, and I think Bows have had a decent record over Shells this season. It's 3 wins, against them. I think there was a 2-1-0s and a 4-1. I think. So look, it's obviously it's a big or is it? It was 2-1. I think it was the Bows, or was it 1-1? Was it 1-1? Was it? Yeah, it was.
Hold on.
Shane, was it Carl scored or Sean Boyd, and then Grant Horton scored? I think that's right. I think that's right. 1-1, I think it is. I think it was. And then obviously the 1-0 in Dalymount and then the 4-1 in Tolka. So look, it's an opportunity. Shells will want to, get that win over Bohemians, and
Yeah.
Shells are...
A 1-1 in March, a 4-1 in April,
Yeah.
and 1-0 in June.
Yeah, I thought that. No, I got mixed up there. But look, it's a big game. Like it's a big game for both teams. I think this is one game that we should be keeping an eye on. The teams, both teams. Like you look at the league table, and there's really nothing between them. A point, and I know Shells have a game in hand, so Shells will feel like this is an opportunity to get one over on Bows and go ahead of them in the league, and start pushing then the other teams in fifth and fourth. Like so, big game.
Oh, it's massive game. Like for both teams, I would probably roll both teams out of the race for fourth. Even at this stage of the season. So I think for reasons now it's just about finishing up, trying to finish as high as they possibly can. I said it in the review show last week that if Shelbourne was to finish 8th, I would find that a very poor season from their point of view, given that the amount of money that they've spent on bringing in players. Like I know they're not spending as much as what Derry, Dundalk, Rovers are spending, but for a promoted team, it is very much more than what you would expect in years gone by. And I think this is an important game for both sides, like because Bows they'll not want to give up the fight for fourth. They're still in the cup, obviously. They'll still believe that they can finish maybe above Sligo and get a top half finish. So and Shelbourne will see themselves like as being able to finish above Bows. So. And as you say, Bows have had the upper hand this season. Shelbourne will want it's their last opportunity to get a win against their big North Dublin rivals. And they'll not want to pass it up. The last time they played at home, I think, was Easter Monday. It finished 4-1 to Shelbourne, Bows, and that result actually came off the back of Shelbourne beating Derry in the Brandywell the previous Friday. So they want to go out and they want to give their fans a performance in this game, because they'll want to come away with the bragging rights this time around.
Yeah, but you look at Shells, obviously have that last week they just simply weren't good enough, and they were punished for that against Drogheda. I think Duff said in his interview after the game with the Independent that like he was speaking about having not many games in the last couple of weeks and having the Pats game called off, and you'd be interested to see did that have an effect on the squad. Like I know nothing really beats that sort of match sharpness, and look, I know Shell started that game against Drogheda very well, first 10-15 minutes, but once Drogheda got settled, then you could see which team has been sort of playing the last few weeks and which hasn't.
Well, Damien Duff he'll blame that Pats game getting called off anyway, like because we know Shelbourne weren't too happy about that. But sure, what can you do? It's nobody really knows the true facts, and it's like you have to feel for Shelbourne. Like they've had 2 home games in the last 6 weeks, which is really disappointing. And I think something needs to be done about that for next year, because I know in years gone by, there's other teams have only had 2 home games between June and September and stuff, and it's not right. It's not on, and I think something would need to be looked into about that. But they've got that Drogheda game over. As you said, they started well. They got the early goal. They had to make an early change as well, which could potentially have had an impact on that game too. So I don't think you can put it all down the Pats game being called off. I think that's just a get out clause. But there's no doubt about it, the lack of match sharpness would have played a part, but I don't think it would have played a part that early in the game, to be honest with you. But for Bows, I think this is a big one for them. Like they lost a couple of weeks ago against Sligo, and they lost like 10 men to Dundalk last week. So they'll not want to lose a 3rd game in a row, and especially not against Shelbourne, because as I say, Shelbourne won this, they go 2 points clear Bows with a game in hand. So Bows will want to open up a wee bit of a gap between themselves and Shelbourne, like, so they will. And a hard game to call again.
Yeah,
I think Shelbourne might nick us 2-1, 2-1-0, 2-1 sort of scoreline.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to go for. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Shelbourne. I think it's going to be a good game, though. I think Shells are going to be really up for this. They've got it. They need a reaction, especially after last week. Like that just wasn't good enough. And look, I've given Duff, and I've given Shells a lot of credit this season, but last week was probably one of their worst performances of the season. But big game for them. Moving on, anyways, to the Belfield Bowl, UCD and St. Patrick's Athletic. Big game again for Pats, I think. I think every game between now and the end, and especially for both teams, is pretty big. You see Pats in the position they're in, and they're not too far away from third, but they want to maintain that fourth spot. Especially after last week, they had a good result against Sligo, because that was the sort of performance, I said it in the review show, that there was a sort of performance we probably haven't seen from Pats this season. To and probably not play so well and get 3 points. Big game for them, and as well for UCD. So it really, at the top and the bottom, it's a big game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With because Pats know that they've experienced Europe this year. They'll want the experience again next year, and they know the only way through that and now is through the league, and they'll want to put as much pressure on Derry as they possibly can. And this is one opportunity that they have to do that. Because Derry, as we know, Derry's fixture away to Drogheda is no foregone conclusion either. So a huge opportunity for Pats. They've beaten UCD 3 times this year. The last game in the UCD Bowl, they struggled over the line. I think it was an OG and a penalty in the last 10 minutes. It got them from coming 1-0 down. They go on and win the game 2-1. They want to put in a much far better performance this time around. We saw a really good 1-0 win last week, as you touched on. Not a result, the kind of result that we've seen from Pats this year, grinding out wins. And that's exactly what they've done. As you say, big game. It's a big game for UCD too. They got a big result against Harps last week, having gone into game 2 points behind. They've now put themselves in the driving seat, and they'll want to go out and in front of whatever fans they have, whatever numbers they have there. They'll want to go out and put on a performance. We know that this time of year UCD become full time because their players aren't in college. So, this could be the period in the season where UCD could make it really difficult for the likes of Pats and Sligo and Derry and stuff like that. So I can't see Pats not winning this game, to be honest with you. I just think they'll have the upper hand. But as we know, UCD, they've put on some really good performances over the last couple of weeks. They've won their last 2. They've beat Cockhull in the cup, and they've beat Harps in the league, both in the UCD Bowl. So they'll be definitely looking to go out and make it a hat-trick. If they do, it'll be an incredible one. And it'll be hard to see, even with just a 4-point gap. It'll be hard to see them being caught by Harps, to be honest with you. But as I say, I can't see Pats not winning this game, to be honest. I think they could win this comfortable, maybe 2-0.
Yeah, from UCD's point of view, I think you look at the performances in the last few weeks. I was very impressed with them that day in Drogheda. I think they came and they didn't start too well, but once they got settled, they were very, very good. And could have easily gone on and won that game. They hit the post, had a great chance. And look, I know you could say Drogheda could have won it as well, but it's one of them games for them. There's no real. I still don't think there's pressure on UCD, because I still think they're performing better than anyone probably thought they would. They're 9th, they're a point ahead at the bottom. But any sort of points at this point at this time of the season for UCD is big. You know what I mean? And there's 10 games left, and they'll be looking to get points in any game they play in, and especially when you go to the Belfield Bowl, it's definitely not an easy place to go to for any team. So I'm expecting a tough game here. I still think Pats will just slightly shade it, but if UCD can get an early goal here, you never really know what will happen. So
because we saw what they've done, the teams when they've got an early goal, they did it really difficult. Nobody knows more than Sligo this year when UCD get an early goal. They got an early goal against Pats. The last time UCD Bowl made it really difficult for them. So as you say, the first goal is really important in this game. So it is.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you gonna go for? You said 1-0, was it? Or 2-0?
2-0 Pats.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0 Pats. I think they'll just get by UCD. Just have that little bit more quality than them. Anyways, Finn Harps Sligo now next game. Big game as well. When you look at this one, every game in this league at the minute, I keep saying big game, but it's like every game. Finn Harps, they just need to get points on the board, and at home to Sligo, I honestly think this is a good opportunity for Finn Harps to get points.
You would think that, like, we're looking at the 5 fixtures in the league this weekend, and every game has something riding on it.
Yeah.
And that's what we like to see. Like,
Yeah.
you say it's a good opportunity for Finn Harps, because Sligo are not the most consistent team either. And this one's in Ballybofey, so. But again, I keep saying it about Finn Harps. This season, they just haven't got that. They just don't seem to have that fight or willpower in them that we've seen over previous seasons. They got that fantastic one against Drogheda, and you're thinking, right, that's it. They're going to kick on now. They're going to pull away from UCD. The very next week, they went and lost to UCD, and all of a sudden, they're playing catch up again.
Yeah.
They're not going to get many chances between now and the end of the season. They pick up points. They get themselves above UCD, and last week was one of them. And every game now for Finn Harps is massive. Like, it is massive, and
Yeah.
I would like to say that I can see Finn Harps getting something of this game, but I just don't have any confidence in them, to be honest with you. They just at this time last year, you could say, yeah, they're going to go there. They're going to make it difficult for Sligo. Blah blah blah. I don't have any confidence in Harps getting something in this game. If they get the first goal, I don't see Sligo coming back to win it, to be honest. But if Sligo get the first goal, I think they'll go on to win the game, because it just seems to be that Finn Harps concede. They just lost all confidence in themselves, and I think that, again, in this game, the first goal is important. If Finn Harps get it, they could go on and win this game 3-0 like they did their last home game. If Sligo get it, Sligo could go on to win the game 2-3-0. I'm going to say, I think this could be 2-0 Sligo, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like, you look at the way, even like we're talking about UCD a few minutes ago, saying, their performances in the last few weeks have been very good, and like Finn Harps, even like they played well that night against Drogheda, but can you really think of any other performances where you've said that they've played really well in the last few weeks? You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's just not been good enough for them, and like, you made a great point there. I think, like, they go and get a great result against Drogheda, and then they play bottom of the league UCD, and they lose, like, and it just wasn't, especially UCD down to 10 men as well. Like, it just didn't, like,
yeah.
you can't really give Finn Harps any slack there, because I just don't think that's good enough.
No.
But
especially when you look back to the start of the season, when they were at Daily Mount Park and they were trailing 2-1, they were down to 9 men, and they just kept pushing forward, and they got an equaliser. And now at this stage of the season, that they've come up against bottom of the table, they've got an extra man, and they still lose. Yeah. And I just think that was an opportunity, a huge opportunity missed from their point of view. It really was.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I fully agree. I'm gonna go 2-0 Sligo as well. I think you can't see by Sligo anyways in this game. Then the final game, Sunday evening. I think this is the game of the weekend.
100%.
Shamrock Rovers, Dundalk, Tallaght Stadium. I don't think seriously, Dundalk, they're probably not going to get a better chance to go to Tallaght and get 3 points here, because Shamrock Rovers are going to be coming off a long trip back from Hungary, and players. I seen Stephen Bradley still said they're missing a few players. Like, it's a big opportunity as well for Dundalk to get a win here.
Yeah, it is. Like, as we saw last week, Derry had that opportunity and didn't take it.
Yeah.
I think if Derry had an out-and-out striker, we would have taken that chance. Dundalk, I think, have that in Pat Hoban, but I know he came off injured last week. Well, he's back fit again this week.
It didn't look good. He was in one of them, with boot as well. It didn't look right.
Yeah, and he was injured a few weeks ago as well, didn't he? And he came back after a couple of weeks, so maybe it wonder, is it a recurrence? So, yeah. This game is crucial because if Dundalk won this, it's game on for a title race. It really is, because I thought 5-6 weeks ago, I thought that was game over for the title. And then Shamrock Rovers started to pick up wins in Europe, and they're now going deep. If they win, if Dundalk win this, even though Rovers have a game in hand, it's game on for a title race. Make no bones about that. If Shamrock Rovers win this game, then it's hard to see past them, even with the extra games that they're going to have in the group stages. But as you say, Dundalk will not have a better chance to go to Tala and win. They went there the last time round, I think, and lost 3-0, but that was coming off the back of a Friday, Monday fixture, and there's only one team in the league built for that, and it's Shamrock Rovers. But now at this stage of the season, they're picking up injuries because of the amount of games and travelling that they're doing for Europe. So it'll be difficult, I think, for Shamrock Rovers, but I think it's one that they're probably going to dig out a result on. They might not win it. They might have to do what they did against Derry and hang in there and dig deep. Because I think Dundalk will make it difficult, because Dundalk are in a really good run. And Dundalk are probably higher up the table than what many people expected them to be. And this will be an interesting game. But I think Shamrock Rovers might get a draw out of this 1-1. It could be another 0-0 as well for them.
Yeah, no, it's a really tough one to call, because you don't really know what way Shamrock Rovers is going to come back from Hungary, and what they might even be down a few more bodies, and hopefully not. But like I said, it is a serious possibility, when you're playing over there, and it's going to be tough on Shamrock Rovers this game, especially the game against Ferencvaros. Like, that sort of opposition that they're going to be, and it's going to be very tough to mentally and then obviously physically. So like, they'll be coming back, and it's probably the last team they'll only be facing is Dundalk. Just off the basis how good Dundalk have been this season in the league. And look, I know Dundalk's away form we've spoken about, it's not great and all, but you look at where they are in the table. If they get a win here, like, they're seriously back in it. They'll only be a couple of points behind Shamrock Rovers. Was it 1 point behind Shamrock Rovers if they win? You know what I mean? It's big. You know what I mean? So they've got to, and obviously, like, I know Rovers will still have the game in hand, but I think you'd prefer to have points over games in hand, for definite. So look, Shamrock Rovers, they've got to go here and they've got to do a job. I think. I fancy Dundalk to win the game. I think I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to say Dundalk are going to win this game 1-0, but this could be a tough game for Shamrock Rovers, and I think if Rovers can get an early goal here, settle a bit, they could win the game, but Dundalk, will feel like they've got to go out and win this game if they've got any chance of catching Shamrock Rovers.
I think the Shamrock Rovers lineup could all depend on the result on Thursday night. If they're coming back from Hungary with still with an absolute huge chance of getting through, it could play a part in Stephen Bradley and his lineup. He might rest a few players and think, right, well, we'll trust the squad to get a result. If we're coming back out of the tie, maybe 3-0 down or whatever, he might just look at it and think, right, I'll put out my best 11, get the game done.
Yeah,
a few off, keep them for Thursday night, and we'll go again. So I think the result could all depend on Thursday night's result. Like, as I say, Steve, it could all, the lineup for Shamrock Rovers could be dependent on how they get on Thursday night.
Yeah, just finally as well, before we finish up, like, obviously we've got this, Rovers have got this game on Sunday, and then they obviously go again on Thursday in the second leg of the Europa League playoff against Ferencvaros, and they could be struggling after that, because there's every possibility that could go to extra time and even further. So then they've got to go again on Sunday against Drogheda in the cup, like, and Drogheda will surely, like, we'll be looking at a cup run this season, and they're going to be really up for that game. So look, I know we're going to talk about that next week, like, so, like, it doesn't get any easier for Shamrock Rovers, like.
It doesn't, like, and I know Rory Higgins said last week, whenever he was asked before the Rovers game about why did we not change the game and stuff like that, he turned around and he says, well, let me tell you, I would give anything to be in Shamrock Rovers' position at the minute. So it's not going to get any easier for Rovers, but I'm sure they'll love it, but they'll take it, because they're top of the league, they're in the group stages of Europe, and they're still in the cup. And for a League of Ireland team, it doesn't get any better than that. And they're experiencing the dream right at the minute, and they'll want they'll, as you say, they're coming. They'll play. The only thing is, though, the cup game, which we'll talk about next week, is coming after a home league in Europe, so they'll not have as much travel. No. They'll have no traveling at all. So, but they're in the position that every club in the league wants to be in. We know Dundalk have experienced it twice in the past as well, and now they're experiencing it. And and many teams are looking at them thinking, well, in the future we want to experience that too. So right now Shamrock Rovers are the benchmark for Irish football, and I think we have to commend them for what they're doing right now, and good luck to them on Thursday night, but just not domestically.
Clearly, I don't wish them good luck next Sunday either against us. But honestly, yeah, JP, that's brilliant. Thanks very much. I think we made some brilliant points there. We'll wrap it up. If you've enjoyed that video, do let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you thought of our comments. Thanks very much.
Before we finish, can I just give a shout out to Charlie Doherty, who he travels with a Pride on our side, Derry City Supporters Club, and he stops me every week in the Brandywell to ask when we're going. The show's going to be out. So I know he's an avid watcher, and I just want to give him a wee shout out. So
absolutely, fair play. No, fair play, Charlie. If you're watching this, fair play. Thanks for your support on the show. So yeah, thanks very much. Do let us know what you think of our comments, and we will see you for our next video.
These lads.